I have modified my code slightly so that when I start the game, it always starts in the corner. So this will just prevent it from getting stuck on my sprite right at the start of the game. I've also changed it so that when it hits my player sprite, it's going to change the direction, but it's not going to go in exactly the same path it came from. So it's going to just change the angle ever so slightly. So just put a random number there between 150 and 210 rather than it just being 180, which just sent it back along exactly the same path. And you can see what that's doing to the behaviour of the ball. When it hits it, it can be a slightly randomised direction that comes off. Now I'm going to add some lives to my player sprite so that when the ball hits it, a life is removed. So we'll make it so you can start with 3 lives. When lives gets down to 0, the game will end. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a variable. I'm going to make a variable. I'm going to call it lives. I'm going to make it so it's for all sprites, so every sprite will be able to see this variable called lives and make changes to it. At the moment lives is set to 0. I need to be on my player sprite to program this. Lives is set to 0. I want to make it so at the start of the game lives will be set to 3. So I've already got when flag is clicked here, so this is when I start the game. It's going, my player is going to 0, 0. I'm also going to set my lives to 3. I will then need to program it so that when my sprite touches the ball, it loses a life. So I can do this. I could create another flag, but what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to move this down to the bottom, and I'm going to add the next part of code to this section here. So I'm going to choose forever. I'm going to say if it is touching the ball. So if touching, and it's called basketball, then I want to change lives to, or take 1 off the lives. The moment when I run it, you see lives is being set to 3. So if touching basketball, nothing's happening at the moment. So I'm going to go to variables, I'm going to change lives by -1. I'm also going to put a weight in here. I'm going to make it wait for, we'll say 3 seconds. So for 3 seconds after you've been hit by the ball, you will not lose a life. So if the ball hits you straight away again, you'll be okay. Let's see if this works. The reason this wasn't working was because I already have on my basketball an if touching player 1. So when it touches player 1, it moves, and I'm saying here if it's touching the basketball, take a life off. This has happened, so it's moved and it's no longer touching player 1. So I'm going to move this, stop this code, I'm just going to take this out. We won't have this bit anymore, but we'll keep the change lives by -1. I'm going to put that on the basketball sprite. So I can get rid of that now because it's over here. So there it is. So I've got if it's touching player 1, and then somewhere in here I'm going to place this change lives. So I'm just going to put it there. So it will have changed direction before it takes the lives off. So it just reduces the chance of it hitting it again straight away. So let's see if this works this time. Yeah, you can see the lives going down. Okay, but what happens when it hits it again? You can see it's going to the minus. What I would like to happen is that when lives equals 0, we're going to stop the game. See what happened then. It actually got stuck then and lots of lives got taken off. So part of the debugging process is working out how we can fix these problems. It's your turn now. create a variable which is going to act as the lives for the character that you have created, and then it's going to interact with the other sprites so that when there is a collision, a life is taken off. See if you can work out how to make the game end when lives equals 0. Don't forget to save your game.